The Seattle Police Department also has reason to celebrate. Its minority recruitment program is making a big difference. One Somali teenager embodies the effort. He's focused, driven, and his greatest desire is to wear the badge. Linda Byron reports. March 1st, 1928, opening night of the Seattle Theater, later renamed the Paramount. And look what we dug up in the Seattle Times archives. Hello and welcome to the season premiere of City Stream. I'm Nicole Sanchez. And it might not look like it, but we are actually just minutes from downtown Seattle. Here at the Henry is the newest location of a City Stream favorite, City Grind, which keeps the Seattle channel going at City Hall with all of its coffee and treats. Many call it a uniquely American art form. We're talking about swing music. You know the greats, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Benny Goodman. And for nearly 50 years, that music was the focus of KUOW's popular Swing Years and Beyond. Hello and welcome to City Stream. I'm Nicole Sanchez, bringing you the show this week from the Burke Museum of History and Culture, located on the University of Washington campus. The Tacoma Narrows Airport usually brings in more than $4 million a year, but Heather, they say with all the extra business coming in with the U.S. Open, that number could climb even more for 2015. I do have some good news coming up. We do have some drying coming, but not tonight. Brian, there's no other way to put it. This is nasty. The snow is coming down hard, and the wind is really picking up, making it hard to see in a lot of spots. We're actually here on I-90. Take a look here. It doesn't die in the next few days. The way things have been going, you know, we were 66 degrees yesterday. Today, only 52 degrees for Seattle. And the Black Nativity is not the only show in town getting toes tapping this holiday season. For more than 20 years now, singers and thousands of fans have been gathering downtown for the annual Great Figgy Pudding Street Corner Caroling Competition. You say that 5 times. It's rough and intense. And at some point, you're going to get hurt. This is roller derby. And this team, the Rat City Roller Derby All-Star Team, is one of the best anywhere. Out of around 400 teams in the world, Rat City ranks in the top 20. And these athletes work incredibly hard for the wins.
Thumper, remember the one where you're on the outside and you rotate in on the pivot twist?
They practice 3 to 4 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Many of them have full-time jobs and range in age from 19 to the early 40s. One special person keeps these athletes in tip-top shape.
How's the ankle feeling after scrimmage on Tuesday?
Oh, it's like night and day.
Meet Reshmi Bahadur. She is the team's full-time athletic trainer.
It's very intense, and I don't think I realized how intense it was when I came and started working here. And so anytime anybody first asks me, like, what is it like? I think the basic thing I can describe it is like playing football on skates.
Reshmi believes she is the only full-time trainer for a roller derby team in the country. She splits her time between UW Medicine's manual therapy in Seattle and here at the Rat's Nest, where she attends all of the practices, scrimmages, and bouts to keep them patched up and playing.
There you go. They do wear safety equipment and they are on quad skates, but it is a full contact sport.
19-year-old Rosie Rickle is the youngest player on the team. She recently tore her PCL in her knee. She credits Reshmi for helping her get back on the track.
It's amazing having Reshmi. I think that we're just so lucky to have her here protecting us, because every time like anything happens, if we go over there, probably half of our team comes to Reshmi to get taped before practice every day.
Good, and make sure you keep doing the exercises and stretches.
39-year-old Angie Riley, known as the Strange Her on the track, loves the sport so much she and her wife moved from Eugene a few years ago just to be part of the team.
I've never experienced anything like this. You know, growing up, played volleyball, softball, basketball. I was even on a bowling league for a while, you know, that kind of thing. Nothing. I've not experienced anything like the rush you get from playing the sport.
But beyond ankle injuries and a past concussion, Angie is dealing with a more serious health problem. She has multiple sclerosis,
I'm definitely not let it slow me down any way, shape, or form. I'm basically going to use my body as long as it will let me.
Angie gives a lot of credit to Reshmi for her support. She has even looked into special conditioning programs to help Angie through her MS. And Reshmi is always aware of her condition.
And the toe feeling better now that you've alleviated some of the blood?
It doesn't throb like it
Good.
did.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm having some weird nerve stuff, usually it's just my feet will go numb or things will not react the same way. She's always asking me, like, putting it through the filter, like, do you think that that's because of the MS or is it just because of, you know, it was a hard practice or something like that?
Seeing players like Angie thrive even through adversity is what keeps Reshmi going, even when things get a little hectic. She loves her job, and she loves helping these athletes achieve their dreams.
Every day's a new day. You never know what you're coming into. Some days it could be kind of an easy day with just a few injuries, or it gets a little exciting sometimes and we can end up with a few more injuries.
This is Hassani, just 2 weeks after he was born at the Woodland Park Zoo in early May. Running around and happy, thanks to these special shoes that were created for his back legs. Hassani was born with a rare congenital defect. Zoo staff noticed right away.
He was not supporting his weight properly on his back legs, so we knew within the first hour that there was something going on.
The special shoes allowed him to stand and walk with more control.
He was experiencing what we are calling hyperextended flexor tendons, which means that his back legs were bent over 90 degrees. So he wasn't walking on his hooves, which is what he should have been doing.
The condition, formerly known as hyperextended fetlocks, is more common in horses, so it's not something the zoo was anticipating. After taking x-rays, they decided to wrap his back legs to give him more support.
This is an example of some of the bandages that we put on him initially. And the goal of the first bandages was simply to protect that tendon, to prevent him from doing any more damage to it.
Zoo staff then started reaching out to colleagues across the country for advice. They determined Hassani needed custom shoes for his back legs. At first, they thought he'd need them for 3 months, but he only wore them a few weeks.
There is just a little bit of that kinesiology tape, that KT tape left on his fetlocks, but he actually doesn't need it at this point. He's standing and walking perfectly. We just haven't gone in to remove it. We're hoping he'll take it off himself.
Hassani's mom, Olivia, has done a great job of taking care of him, even with his medical condition. They are currently working on integrating him with his dad, Dave, and Aunt Tufani in the outdoor corral area. Once successful, they will move the herd to the roomier African savanna. Hassani was born as part of the Species Survival Plan, which is a conservation breeding program across more than 200 zoos in North America. Hassani is the third giraffe to be born at Woodland Park Zoo in 7 years. Prior to that, there hadn't been any giraffe births at the zoo in 20 years. As you can imagine, the decision to breed giraffes is made with careful consideration.
There's about 700 giraffe in these 230 zoos. And so it's important for us to work very closely and to communicate with each other with regards to our breeding decisions, because what we don't want to do is have too many giraffe in zoos, right? We want all these animals to have homes, and so we're very deliberate and very conscientious about when we make these breeding decisions.
In the wild, giraffes are found in Africa. Zoo officials say new estimates show a 40% reduction in populations, dropping down to fewer than 100,000. So the work being done at the zoo to educate the public and protect giraffes is very important.
What is he wearing on his legs? What do you see? Special shoes, that's right.
Even though Hassani has outgrown the need for his special shoes, the zoo is using his story to help teach young people and families about physical differences.
You're gonna give your panda a shot too?
Here in the Zoomasium indoor area, the early childhood education staff work with children to share the story of Hassani's start to life. They added special shoes and wraps to the Pretend Hassani, something that especially resonates with children who've had similar challenges.
In Hassani's case, we see connections between the ankle-foot orthotics that kids grow up wearing. Those kids who have had that experience will see Hassani and they sort of light up when they see his purple wraps, knowing that they've had those purple wraps too, or when they see his special shoes, that they've had those special shoes too, and they really see themselves in Hassani's story. Is it time to wake the giraffe up? There we go.
Children can pretend to be a veterinarian in this part of the zoo.
No, okay.
They can play with vet supplies like plastic stethoscopes, thermometers, and weight scales to check on the stuffed animal's health. Parents say they appreciate the lessons being taught here about Hassani's leg condition to better promote empathy and the understanding of differences, life lessons everyone needs to know.
Time with animals is always teaches compassion. So, but an opportunity to just see differences will always allow children to have more of an open mind.
And even though Hassani will soon outgrow the need for any leg supports, his challenging start to life is a lesson the zoo says will last for many years to come.
It's really a great way to connect people to animals, to realize that we're not that far apart, that we all have problems and things that we can overcome. And so the telling of that story through our Zoomasium program is actually, I think, helps kids and parents understand just the world around them and be a little more empathetic and loving to people.
Leah Rapovic loves sailing and science. The 13-year-old from Shoreline is part of a special week-long day camp called Sailing into STEM.
It's inspiring me, and I'm really into math. I think math is really interesting. So I really love that we're doing a lot of physics and things like that.
I didn't realize how much science and planning went into sailing. I thought you just, sail, but there's a lot of things that go into it.
Sail Sandpoint has offered STEM sailing camps before, but this is the first time it's only for girls.
I'm able to voice my opinion without being worried if it's right or wrong, because they will very nicely correct me if it's wrong or congratulate me if it's right.
Last year I didn't do it with just girls. I had boys in my camp, and I really enjoyed having it just be girls. There's been a lot more understanding.
This camp, designed for girls interested in STEM, is a mixture of learning how to sail and on-land science activities.
All right, who's going first? It floats! Oh, mine floats!
I think it's super great. I'm a woman in STEM, so being able to teach a group of all girls who are all into STEM is super great. I get to enforce my passion onto them.
Emilia Garcia Bompadre is going into her freshman year at the University of Washington and will study biomechanical engineering.
On your marks, get set, go. Oh!
Teaching the Sailing into STEM class for girls is a perfect fit for her.
I've been teaching some physics stuff, kind of how the sailboat works. We talked about forces and vectors and how the wind affects the sails. We've also been talking a little bit about ecology.
The STEM camp is one example of the more than 100 camps the group offers each summer. Sail Sandpoint started 21 years ago. The nonprofit has a strong focus on breaking down the stereotype that sailing is just for wealthy people, especially men.
That's the rainbow sail. How about we get the rainbow sail next time?
Yeah, we get the rainbow sail next time.
Our mission is basically not a yacht club. We're all about inclusivity and making sure that everyone can be here and have an opportunity to get out on the water.
They even have a team dedicated to accessibility. They make a point to reach out to people of color, lower incomes, or disabilities, whether physical or mental.
For the Shipmates programs, we bring in groups from different backgrounds who aren't able to go sailing normally. We've had so many new people who've never seen the lake before, never touched a boat in their lives, and then they come here and they're on a boat and they're having the time of their lives, and it's one of the most amazing feelings ever, just seeing them do that.
Last year alone, Sail Sandpoint awarded $38,000 in youth scholarships to more than 60 young people. It also expanded its adult programming to offer 80 classes.
Does one of you guys want to pull this?
And for Leah, the all-girls sailing program focused on STEM isn't just a unique camp for her. It's something she wouldn't have had the opportunity to do if her parents hadn't immigrated here from Russia and Yugoslavia.
My mom always told me how there was always this kind of nagging thing that you, as a woman, that you had to stay at home and cook and clean.
Hop on! It's just one example of how this unique program is making a difference in the lives of people of all ages, in more ways than just sailing.
In the U.S., there's a whole new possibility of learning whatever you want to do. You could go into medicine, you could be a teacher as a woman, and I think that's really empowering.